Hello everybody and welcome back to Factorio. Last time we got our blue science set up, but it is a little bit in need of some fixing. The petroleum gas supply is doing pretty terribly and our power setup is having issues, so I need to fix that. And also the copper, whoa, it looks like I'm replacing all of the furnaces on iron with steel furnaces right now. I do need the stone furnaces to make boilers, so I guess that's why I'm doing that. And I need to stack back up on some belts, pipes, and inserters and all that goodness, because we've got a lot of stuff to do. As you can see, the power is already in the yellow still, even though I kind of tweaked it last time. It's in need of a whole... It just needs to be revamped entirely. And here I'm hooking up the light gas cracking. Light oil cracking into petroleum gas so that I can get a little bit more petroleum, but and I could use another refinery as well. That makes 4, so I'll just hook this up real quick, and we just need more power. And I'm just gonna go ahead and keep researching red and green science. There's lots of stuff to research still, lots of stuff. And here we go, we're going over to the power plant Peninsula, and I need to figure out how exactly to do this. It looks like I'll be able to fit 4 columns of steam engines here, so that's what I'm gonna do. And I can't get this one pump to fit here, so luckily I have some stone on me, and I can finally use the landfill mod to fill in just a little square of water with dirt to fit the pump there, and it works out pretty great. So I crafted more steam engines already, and it's time to tear down half of it and start setting up the columns of steam engines in their proper form. I'm still gonna go with 13 boilers because it's a little bit more efficient, I think. 13 boilers to 10 steam engines, like I said, will give you 99% efficiency for those boilers, or for those steam engines, I mean. Adding an extra boiler for that 1% just doesn't seem worth it to me. So 40 steam engines should last me long enough to get a bunch of solar panels ready, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing after this. Once I make sure that the oil setup is doing okay. So I'm just going to split the coal off right up there. I'm still going to send it down the middle until it reaches the boilers, and then I'll just split it off to either side. Got a lot of tree clearing out to do, and I'm just counting the steam engines to make sure I've got 10 here. I think that's 9. No, that's 10. And I'm just going to run some power poles up in between each row. It's a pretty compact setup. Works out pretty good here. There we go. We got 20 online on the right side. And I need to switch these ones over, though. And I did use some underground pipes here to create a little space for me to walk through above all of the steam engines. Got the coal line going over here. The other pump fits just fine. It looks like, I might be able to even go a couple more wider, but it's not entirely, feasible. I mean, it is feasible, but I might have to tweak the land. Might even have to make one of those shaped compression bombs, or just kind of pipe the water in from an odd angle or something if I wanted to add more steam engine arrays on the right and left side of what I've got going on here. But these 4 fit right in the middle perfectly. It looks all good. Looks nice. Works good. So with these set up, I'm definitely going to have enough power to last me for a little while to get the next things done that I need to. Do a bunch more research, set up some solar panel assemblers, set up some accumulator assemblers. There we go. We got 40 steam engines up and running. Looks good. Very nice. It didn't take too long. Gonna hop in my car and hopefully not crash into anything. Gonna research concrete now, even though I don't really have the stone brick influx to do it. I might as well. And I'm just gonna finish tapping into this iron patch here. Just make sure it's all getting mined up at the same time. Just trying to get this, so it's all moving up. That looks good. That'll work. I'm pretty sure we still need more copper being put on the lines. I might expand that later. Might do that now. I forget. No. Oh, hit the pipe. God dang it. It's just hard to have enough room around your base for the car to be a feasible way of moving around. But later on down the road, we're gonna get power armor with some exoskeletons inside, which will allow us to run really fast along the concrete pathway, so a car really isn't really necessary later on, except for driving around the wilderness. So now we're taking a look at the plastic. Looked good. It looks like it was active, and I kind of want to move the batteries over just a little bit, so that's what I'm going to do here for the next couple minutes, just in the interest of saving some space. So I'm kind of just gonna move this as close as I can. Not entirely necessary, but it was kind of bothering me. I don't really need that space there. I didn't even have a pathway coming up to be able to walk in that area. Don't really need to walk between the advanced circuits and the batteries anyway. But I do notice that I didn't leave a pathway underneath the batteries and the advanced circuits, so I might have to move both of them up a little bit just to put a pathway there so I can, you know, travel around my base a little bit easier. It's kind of a hassle the way that it came out. Didn't really plan on it in the best way possible. We're pretty much past the part where I know what I'm doing, and now is we're learning. We're still a noob. Once we get the batteries reconnected, plastic influx looks good. I'm not actually doing any blue research though at the moment. I'm still gonna need to put more production into oil and gas and all of that. Expand more plastics, more batteries, but for now, I've got enough. I'm gonna go with rocketry. That's gonna allow me to get military 3, and make a rocket launcher and that kind of stuff. This kind of came out a little odd, just getting the iron and the copper connected for the batteries, but it works. Whatever works. This game's all about finding things that work. I have to reroute the sulfuric acid just because I moved the batteries. There we go. Batteries are all connected up. Finally got the upper right one actually outputting batteries onto the line, which wasn't happening before. I think I'm gonna go with military 3 next. I don't know. I'm looking at everything that's available to me, and I'm just there's just so much things to research once you get red and green science. You just hit all at once with so much research that you can do. Oh, and here we go. I found a console command to delete all that ore, which some of you might have cringed at that. I know that was a lot of ore, but I assure you there's plenty of copper around, and I want to kind of get a copper train going rather than having to take forever to just mine that huge one out that's right in the way of my base. I'd rather just expand the base how I want to. I could really just build on top of the ore, but it looks ugly as hell, so I decided to find a console command to just delete it. And now I'm planning out the next section of our facility. Up here on the top left, we're going to put a small little section to build some accumulators and some solar panels, which is going to be our main source of energy for the rest of the game. So I'm going to get to work on that right away. In the lower left section, we're going to have a weapons factory that'll be creating rockets, cannon shells, landmines, explosives of all kinds, poison capsules. And I'm also going to get some combat robotics going down there as well. Actually, it might be better to set that up somewhere else. I'm not really sure. But we've been having a lot of attacks coming from the southwest in this episode, so I'm setting up a couple extra turrets, just in case. The swarms just keep getting bigger and bigger. Die, rock! I hate rocks. They must die. So here we go, planning out where I'm gonna put the accumulators and stuff. I'm probably just gonna have a couple of assemblers on each. Don't need a whole lot. They'll build up over time as we need them. I still need to choose a location to have our giant solar farm because it's just gonna be massive. I'm probably going to start in the southeast, over by the coast of our starting area. There's a nice little pocket that I'm not using for anything. I'll probably start putting together some solar and accumulator arrays down there. And once I get logistics robots going, then I can really just start making some big blueprints with the things and just go find a huge area that I can just make a giant solar farm and then start slapping them down for tons of power. So now I've got to bring up batteries and iron plates for the accumulators, and I need to bring up steel plates, copper plates, and electronic circuits for the solar panels. So that's kind of a lot to squeeze into one small area. But I figure out a way to do it. It's not the cleanest. And of course, I always say that. I'm going to keep saying that. The only thing that I've got like really nice and clean is the very start of the base. Because I've done it enough times at this point. I'm just gonna set up 2 assemblers for each accumulators and solar panels here. And have them be putting into a chest in the middle. I'm not gonna limit the chest. I'm just gonna have them build up because we're gonna need tons of them eventually. Might as well just keep building them up. Here comes a big swarm. They actually did some damage to my turret because there were so many of them. The pollution is building up with our refineries going. All of the new pump jacks we got connected and the additional boiler arrays that we've got set up. It's all adding to a lot more pollution. The steel furnaces that I put are also double the pollution that the stone ones had. So I'm gonna have to go route some biters soon. Because they're just getting more and more aggressive. And I kind of want to go get some stone to build more walls. I need to get a perimeter defense set up. I have been neglecting doing that, and I've been rather lucky that I haven't been getting attacked from the north at all, because there's really no turrets up there. I'm just kind of trusting the map and the pollution zone, because it looks like it's not touching that base yet, but there's a large base to the north that is right on the border now. So I'm gonna start setting up the concrete, even though I don't really have the stone bricks to support it. I'm just gonna do it anyway. I'm just gonna have I'm actually gonna have 4 assemblers on concrete right here. If you noticed, when I ran the water lines over for the oil refining, I left a little bit of a pipe here inside the stoneworks area. That's for the water line for the concrete. It'd be a cinch to set up. It all works out pretty good. I like how this turned out. And I actually have to bring that inner line all the way down, so I have to kind of move the steel and iron line there. I don't know why I squeezed that over. I guess I did that for the furnaces, but it turns out I don't actually need it to be that way. So I'm just gonna bring that one all the way down, and there we go. Concrete's in full effect. And it drained out all of our stone bricks really quickly. And I also, if you notice, I took out the limit on our wall production, so I'm just gonna be stocking up a lot of walls. Put some walls in these turrets, because those are like our main defense down there from the main attacking force of the fighters to the southwest. It's really not a big base down there, so I'm gonna go take them out shortly. The base is really coming along, isn't it? It's kind of a trek to run back and forth between the supply line and everywhere else, but I can't really think of a way to do it better at the moment anyway. God, the circuit production is just horribly low. I don't know what the deal is. I think I just need more copper, so... It's amazing how we went from barely needing any copper to needing a fuck ton of copper, like, right when we got advanced circuits set up. So I'm kind of just going to expand the furnace array for the copper all the way to the end. In anticipation of a great influx of copper ore, which I really don't have yet. I'm gonna have to put more miners, even more miners on copper. My conservatism with the miners is showing in this episode, because I still don't saturate the lines, even though I expanded this array so much. I ran out of inserters. That happens a lot when I'm setting up the furnace arrays. You need a lot of inserters. I'm probably not going to switch to electric furnaces for quite some time because, I don't know, coal is pretty damn abundant. I'm going to switch over to solar power anyway, so maybe I'll not even do that. I might not even switch over to electric furnaces. I know that means I kind of wasted a little bit of space with these arrays because I did plan them out to support electric furnaces, which are a little bit bigger. But I'm okay with it, that's fine. And I'm pretty much used up all of our steel furnaces and we don't have any stone bricks coming in. So I can't extend the steel line all the way out, but that's okay. I'm not using that much steel. Hopefully this will be okay for now. They're almost halfway. So we got a little bit of concrete built up. We're gonna need a lot more. That biter base is really angry with me. The biter evolutions jumped up a lot to 20% already. But luckily no consequences yet. Squiggle my way through, and here we go. We're going out on the offensive. I got some armor-piercing rounds, some turrets, and we're gonna go blast these fools. The armor-piercing rounds aren't even really necessary, but whatever. There's no point in me making the regular rounds anyway. They're just kind of less efficient, I think. And now I'm about to go. I saw this big worm down here. I was like, I'm gonna take this guy out. Little did I know that he's gonna kill me in 3 hits, so I died. Yeah, whoops. So luckily there was an autosave just like 30 seconds before that happened, so I can go try again. Now, my mistake was I put a gun in range, and he started attacking the gun, and then I took the gun away, and he started attacking me. And once the worm locks onto a target, he stays on that target. So I just dropped the turret down, let him attack it, while I set up another turret closer, loaded it with ammo, and it took him out while he was attacking the empty turret, because, whatever. So yeah, that worked out pretty good. Got gun turret damage 4, which was a blue science researched. So now my turrets are really doing some damage. Really doing some damage. And I'm picking up military 3 now, which is going to give me the combat shotgun and poison capsules, both of which are amazing. Yeah, I got some trees in the way here. I'm going to need to take these out anyway, because this is where the robotics facility is going. And it makes it so I can drive through a little bit easier. And we're almost done with the episode, but I decide to use my final minutes here, carving a pathway through the trees to the stone patch just to the west and the biter base. I'm going to take out these biters and prepare to set up an outpost for a train. And that's what I want to do next time. Set up some stone and set up our first train. Then we can start taking the stone over to the base, unloading it, and we'll set up our train station. We'll set up where I already have a general idea of where I want to put the train. And that'll allow us to make lots of concrete. More steel furnaces as well. And more walls, because I want to make better perimeter defenses. Definitely want better perimeter defenses. Now we got another slightly bigger base than we've dealt with thus far, just to the north of here. And it's kind of close to the outpost, and I know if we set up that outpost, the pollution's going to reach these guys and they're going to get pissed. Man, I almost died from the worms here. There's a lot of worms over here. So what I decided to do is... Oh, military 3 just finished. Just in the nick of time. So what I decided to do is make some poison capsules, because poison capsules are absolutely fantastic for killing worms. So I gotta play it real carefully here. I'm gonna throw them at the worms. There's a huge cluster of worms right there. You got a really big range for throwing the things. Now, wow, I'm so close to dying. Ridiculous, man. Being pretty dangerous there. Even with heavy armor, those worms are really nasty. But I think once I set up the weapons factory, I'm not gonna have any more problems with worms, because that'll give me access to rocket launchers, which I think can outrange the worms, cannon shells with the tank, which I know for a fact outranges the worms, and like I'm doing now with the poison capsules, those are also a really effective tactic. And as you can see, they're also really good at clearing out large clusters of trees. So take that, Mother Nature. No more chopping down forests for me, unless I need wood. I don't know why I would need wood. Wood's only useful for wooden chests and the most basic power lines, I think, and shotguns. But I only need 1 shotgun for the entire game. Yeah, okay, I'm shrugging there. So, I'm gonna hit some trees, because I'm a great driver. And this concludes this episode. We got a lot done, guys. We got a lot done. But there's so much more to do. Like, set up a robot facility and get some flying little buddies going around the base. But until then, I will see you later.